Hi, higher pupils. Welcome to your learning in chemistry for week 8. We're going to be finishing off the section on getting the most from reactants and looking at gases this week. And then later on this week, we're going to be starting a new section of 3B, which is looking at chemical energy. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. So in your two lessons today, we're going to start off with the final piece of the gas volumes new learning, which is looking at reacting gas volumes. And then for the second part of the lesson, you've got a bit of a choice about which activity you complete. Then your day 2 is moving on to chemical energy. So starting off today, I've got a little starter game, just a quick game to test your understanding and confidence with recent learning. The main part of the lesson is watching a video on reacting volumes and taking complete notes in your jotter. Similar to recent videos, it's not a lot of theory to take down, it's mostly worked examples to try and familiarise you with the kind of procedures of answering these types of calculation questions. And then for the last 20 minutes, you're going to complete some practice questions, and that is your required submission for today. The second lesson, I've got 4 different activities for you to choose from. So this should be the majority of the lesson. So first of all is to complete some questions from the booklet. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to complete any question that is getting the most from reactants. So that's all the calculations involving excess, percentage yield, atom economy that we did in 3A, and then also looking at the chemical industry and gases that we have looked at so far in 3B. So if you want to just focus on the 3B stuff, as in the stuff we've kind of learned over the past week or so, then try the questions on your booklet pages 46 to 51. Some of those will be questions that you completed last week. You can just skip any ones that you've already done and do as many of those as you can. I've directed you towards the exam questions. Or if you want to try and combine the knowledge from the 3B topics and the 3A topics, then you can do some past paper revision. Obviously, because all the questions in the exam questions section of the booklet and in past papers could come from the same paper, so there might be some overlap in the questions that you see, then don't be worried if you see the same type of question. In fact, actually, if you're seeing the same type of question and you think, oh, I could probably do this, I've done this before, then still try it unless you've already just done it, because it helps you to get into the pattern of identifying what type of question it is and so on. So there's past paper revision to do as well. And at the end of this video, I'm just going to quickly show you how to access that. Your third option is to do DIY revision notes on any topic we've covered so far. So if you think getting the most from reactants has actually been one of your more straightforward topics, you would rather focus on maybe proteins or alcohols, carboxylic acids, esters, or maybe thinking back to bonding, just because we want to make sure that as we approach the end of the higher course that we are getting increasingly familiar with recalling knowledge from all the topics, then you can do your own revision notes. So things you might want to do would be make your own flashcards or revision cards with brief summaries about different topics or terms and definitions. You might want to do this as a mind map with a central idea and lots of ideas coming out of it. You might want to do a revision poster where you've got organized sections for kind of the subtopics within the topic you've chosen. Whatever works for you is a good idea for that, okay? And then your final option is to catch up with past lessons and past submissions. So if you've kind of felt a bit for whatever reason, you didn't manage to complete prior lessons to the standard you wanted, then you can go back. This is your opportunity to catch up on that. The last thing we want you all to do today is to complete a survey that we've got for you, just kind of on how you're finding the higher course, how we're structuring at the moment, and any ideas or suggestions for changes that we can make going forward. Okay, so that is today's learning, and I'm just going to show you the past paper guide. Okay, so here we are on Teams, and normally you will have been going to Learning at Home 2021 if you've needed to go back to find any information. Just a reminder that everything is in here that we've done since the start of January. Some of the videos are only uploaded onto YouTube, but you can find all the links in the post as well, or you can just go onto the Greif High Chemistry YouTube channel and find them there. But if we go back into general and into the class materials section, you'll find a folder called General Resources, which has a bunch of different resources you might need, but we're just looking at the moment for these higher chemistry past paper questions. And it's a really big file, so it might take a wee second to load, just depending on your connection speed. But basically this is a table of all the past paper questions from the last 5 years grouped by topic. So there's a table for multiple choice, and then there's a table for the section 2 questions. So if you're wanting to do getting the most from reactants, then you would go into where it says unit 3 and you would click any number on here for a multiple choice, or for down here, any number from here for the section B. So let's say I wanted to try question 3B from 2016, because I know that's going to be getting the most from reactants paper. So click on here and it automatically takes me to that question. Sometimes if it's like part B, C, or so on, you might need to go up to kind of read the top of the question to get an idea. That the bit before a question number, so this part like here, sorry, before the question starts, this is called the question stem. It's what an assessor, that's a person who writes exam papers, it's what they put in to give you context for a question. So don't just skip to your question, make sure you read the context. And so we can see it's like 2.9 grams of aluminium phosphide were used. Calculate the volume of phosphine gas that would have been produced, and we've got a molar volume of 24 litres. We know that's going to be 2 marks. So I'll practice that question, and then at the bottom of the page it says go to answers. So I can just click on here, and then I've got the worked answer here. Okay, so it's showing 2 methods, either the kind of triangle calculation method, or it's showing the by proportion method. Either method is fine, obviously. And yeah, so you can use that to mark your work there. So it's a fantastic resource for any topic. Obviously, today we're just looking at getting the most from reactants, but in your own revision time, you could do this for any number of topics. Okay, hope you have fun with your learning today. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.